Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. It's a beautiful prayer that says, O Divine One, lead us. Lead us from the falsehood of separation into the truth of oneness. Lead us from the darkness of ignorance in which we suffer and bring suffering to others, to the light of wisdom. Lead us from that false identification as this physical body, this size, this shape, this color, this race, this religion. Lead us from the false identification as that to the true identification as the colorless, raceless, religionless, sizeless, ageless, one soul, one spirit, one heart, one consciousness. Om peace, Om peace, Om peace. It's such a beautiful joy and a beautiful honor and blessing to be together with our global family of Unify and of all of the other networks, all of the different threads in this beautiful tapestry of unity, of oneness as we come together for this Peace Congress. And it's needed. I mean, peace is always needed. But it seems every day like it's needed more and more. It's a dark time. Undisputably. Whether we look at mental health, rates of depression, rates of suicide, or whether we look at planetary health, what's happening with our climate, what's happening with the environment. It's a dark time. And yet, all of that which is created, exquisite creation, always happens in darkness. Whether it's a seed underground before it cracks and begins to sprout, whether it's an egg before the little baby chick comes out of it, whether it's the cocoon before the butterfly emerges, whether it's the womb of the mother before the baby emerges. Creation happens in darkness. And so let us realize that just because it's dark doesn't mean that we should get discouraged. This darkness is that which is going to birth a new creation. And of course, yes, it's turbulent. But again, it's always turbulent. If you've ever seen a little egg before the chick actually bursts forth, well, it rocks back and forth, moves all around, and then there's a crack, and then it keeps moving all around, and eventually the little baby chick's head comes out. If you've ever watched a cocoon, as the butterfly tries to push its way out, well, the cocoon rocks back and forth. And of course, anybody who's ever witnessed human birth, we know it's full of all kinds of turbulent energy. The Big Bang was turbulent energy. And look what it gave us. So, yes, it's dark, but let us realize that we are on the verge of really birthing a brand new, beautiful, beautiful creation if we do it together. But that peace that we're looking for in our world has to begin with each of us internally. That darkness has to give birth within each of us individually first. And only then can we birth it in our world. In Sanskrit, in our Vedas, it said so beautifully, Yatha pinde, tata brahmande. And what it means is, as is the individual, so is the eternal creation. As is each of us, so is the infinite universe. We also say, Jaise drishti, vaise shrishti, meaning as is our vision, so is our creation. As I am internally, as I think, as I live, as I see, so is that which I am creating in the universe. So is that which comes to fruition in this moment and in the future through me. So we work first on the individual level, and as we're coming together to share practices, how each of us can actually, as Mahatma Gandhi said so beautifully, be that change that we want to see in the world. I'm going to give you a few different practices. Because, yes, we have seated practices for a few minutes each day. But the truth really is, if we are going to birth a new creation of peace, of love, of oneness, of truth, it's not a weekend business. It's not a 6:15 to 6:30 in the morning business, or whatever time you may meditate. It's an every minute, every breath business. So I'm going to share some of the practices that I use in my life, that I share with people wherever I'm blessed to share, and that I've seen really have powerful impacts. Number one, first and foremost, choose love and choose peace. That is the power that we have. Most of us live in reaction. Whatever happens in the world around us, that determines how we feel. You're mean to me. You're violent to me. So I become angry, aggressive, resentful, full of grudges, maybe vengeful. I am living in reaction. But we are not. We're not puppets where someone else pulls the string. We're not light bulbs that should just get turned on and off. We're not balls in a pinball machine that someone else pulls back and then we just bounce around on walls and hitting things until the 25 cents is over. We are creators. We are embodiments of that divine creative energy. And so each of us has the ability every minute, every moment, to choose love and to choose peace. Now, it's not easy, but it is simple. And it's just a shift in consciousness. And so whatever it is that is going on around you, before you react to it in thought in emotional response, in word, in action. Take a moment. Cultivate a practice of grabbing that space between the stimulus and response for you to anchor and realize that you have a choice. There is an alternative to vengeance, to anger, to reaction. And that alternative is to choose love. But it's important to realize that doesn't mean that we become doormats or that we just let people walk all over us, do whatever they want. That love, that peace, can and should, in many cases, be fierce. Gandhi's love was fierce. The love of a mama bear protecting her babies is fierce. Love does not mean I am a doormat. Peace does not mean I am a doormat. It means I am connected to the source of the divine flow. And from that connection, I am courageous and I am creative in how to respond, how to act, how to think, how to be in a way in alignment with love and peace. And these are the days where we do really need that fierce love and an expanded definition of peace. A definition of peace that includes peace for the earth. A definition of peace that includes ensuring that all of our sisters and brothers have access to clean water, to clean air, to clean soil, to human rights. And every minute and every moment, we have that power to make that choice. So that's the very first practice, is living consciously, living mindfully, so that every moment, what I think, what I say, what I do, what I eat, what I buy, what I wear, is in alignment with love and peace. Are my food choices in alignment with love and with peace for the planet, for animals, for our sisters and brothers with whom we share this planet? Every single thing that you buy has a cost that is much more than the price tag. That is a cost to the earth. The cost of the pollution, the waste that comes from the factories producing our items, polluting our groundwater, then polluting our rivers, polluting our air, polluting the earth. That yearning for more, 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 cheaper, 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 is forcing our women and children into sweatshops. So when we say choose love and peace, I don't mean only give smiles, don't harm. It means very subtly to recognize the impact of every single decision you make, every minute and every moment. To eat, to shop, to wear, to live in ways that are in alignment with love, with peace. To live simply so that others can simply live. As we think about our economy, as we think about that type of prosperity, we have to remember the eco in economy. So as we are choosing love and choosing peace, remember that you choose also with your money. What you're buying is putting money in the pockets of systems, of companies, of corporations? Are you choosing? Are you choosing love? Are you choosing peace? And that's an incredible power that every single one of us has every minute and every moment. So it begins with a thought, moves into our words and our actions. Number 2, service. This for me is a really powerful practice. Yes, a lot of us do volunteer work, and that's wonderful. We should. Weekends, sometimes people do it, say, the first Saturday of a month, or whatever your way of volunteering may be. But service is a lot more than that. On a spiritual level, when we talk about karma yoga, well, karma means action. Yoga, of course, means union. So karma yoga is that action that stems from an awareness of unity, union, and also that action that is leading to greater union within me, of my mind, my muscles, my breath, my body, my heart, my soul, my spirit, and union of this individual with the divine, and that divine expressed through all of creation. So karma yoga, or service, is one of the most important practices for bringing peace in your own life and in the world. It also, by the way, is one of the most powerful practices for spiritual awakening, for enlightenment, for transformation, for whatever word you may use or concept you may have for your own spiritual goals. But service is more than just an every week or every month volunteer job. It's a question that we ask ourselves every minute, which is simply, what does this moment want from me? What does this moment want from me? How can I, in this moment, be an instrument, a tool, a vehicle of the divine flow here on earth? How can I be an instrument, a tool, a vehicle of love, of peace? As St. Francis of Assisi said so beautifully, "O Lord, make me an instrument of thy mercy. Where there is darkness, let me bring light." Right? So whatever religious tradition you're looking at, it doesn't matter. How can we, every minute, every moment, where there is darkness, how can we bring light? Where there is despair, how can we bring hope? Where there is injury, how can we bring pardon? How can we help in each minute and each moment? And for me, that question of just, what does this moment want from me, is one of the most powerful practices that I have, because it changes our entire perspective. Most of us move through the world asking and thinking, what for me? What am I going to get in this moment? What's in it for me? But this question shifts from asking what for me to asking what through me. And that shift is the shift that we need for our own spiritual practice, and that shift that our world needs. And as we start acting differently, bringing yoga into our karma, so bringing yoga into our action, then we start to actually become these beautiful confluences of these streams. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about 3 streams of yoga: Jnana yoga, wisdom; bhakti yoga, love, devotion; and karma yoga, action. But they're not 3 separate streams. They're 3 streams that flow together into a confluence of awakening, of love, of peace. And so as we start to live in alignment with yoga, bringing more and more wisdom through our spiritual study, whatever books we're reading, however we're studying, but that wisdom, cultivating that wisdom, and even simply asking that question of ourselves of who am I? That ultimate Jnana Yoga question, who am I? Until we realize I am soul. And that path of bhakti, of love, of devotion, of just cultivating a love for the divine creation, whether it's the trees in your backyard, whether it's the sunset, whether it's the stars in the night sky, whether it's a loved one. Whatever you are able to use as a catalyst to turn on your internal love manufacturing plant, just do it. Because once you love, then you love everything. Once that love starts to flow, then we become transmitters of that love. And so let us be these confluences, our lives, these confluences of wisdom, jnana, of love, devotion, bhakti, and then of karma, action. And then lastly, as far as practices, there's so many, but just as time is running out here, a critical practice is a practice of letting go. Otherwise, every day, things happen that make us upset, make us angry, frustrate us. We feel injured, we feel insulted, we feel slighted, we feel betrayed, we feel abused, we feel abandoned. And we may very well have been abused, betrayed, abandoned, cheated. I'm not saying it's in our minds. Many of us have experienced that. But regardless of what you have actually experienced, our role is not to hold on to it. Our role is not to offer up our highest, deepest, most precious thing, which is our peace, our freedom, on the altar of someone else's ignorance, ego, anger, pain. And that's what we do when we hold a grudge. We're literally taking our most precious thing in life and offering it on the altar of the anger, ignorance, ego of whoever harmed us. We're saying, okay, you harmed me. Now I'm also going to give you the rest of my life. I'm going to give you my peace. I'm going to give you my joy. I'm going to give you my ability to love. I'm going to give you my freedom. Why? No. When someone acts with us in anger, in ignorance, in their ego, in confusion, the goal is to let it go as quickly as we can, to restore that love in our own hearts. And I don't mean to repress it or suppress it or deny it, but just to let it go, to offer it back to the universe. And this is a practice that I would suggest doing every day, every evening before you sleep. Sit in your divine corner. And whatever happened that day, things that happened to you, or maybe things that you did that you're not proud of, guilt you feel, regret you feel, offer it to the divine. Have a little beautiful bowl on your altar, or a plant, whatever works for you, and just into that bowl or into that plant or into the fire, an oil lamp, just offer it and let it go, so that you the next morning are free, clean heart, open heart, to move through the world again as that instrument of love and of peace. And as you move through your day, as much as you can, just bring your hands to your heart. Because where the hands go, so does the awareness. Look for opportunities before every meal, before every time you drink water. Just for a moment. Bring your hands to your heart. Connect with that heart. Connect with gratitude. Gratitude to the universe for providing you with this food, with this water, with this healthy body with which to take in the food and the water. With love for that divine provider, divine creator, divine spirit that flows through what we're about to take in. Gratitude to the food, to the farmers, to those who have made this available. With the hands on the heart, offer that gratitude, offer that love back into the universe. With a prayer that may this food, may this water nourish and nurture me so that I may be able to be even more of an instrument, of a tool, of a vehicle, of love and peace in the world. With so much love to all of you from these sacred banks of Mother Ganga, from the lap of the sacred Himalayas. Whenever you feel that you need a charge of your battery, just come home. Come home to Rishikesh, come home to Parmarth Nikatan. You're always welcome. And until then, from our heart to your heart.